Hi everyone, hope you're all well. So I thought it's about time I come on and do another part of working with the diagrams out of the Model Engineer magazine. So I did start the other day and I made a tuck spot for a journal using one of the diagrams. Now I've been thinking a bit since then because I wasn't quite feeling the journal that I was making. So, and that was going to be with this cover, which I had cut down. And a couple of nights ago, I was harvesting some more of my Funk and Wagnall's encyclopedias. And the ones I was doing had this beautiful brown cover, and I really liked this and the texture on it. So I've decided that I want to use that cover now because I'm allowed to change my mind. So that one has been gutted, ready to use, and I have cut down one of the file folders because I've decided to use a pile of my file folders in this one as pages and ephemera pieces. What I think I might try and do is 3 signatures. Now the first 2 signatures I think I'll make predominantly with file folder and have ephemera in them and pockets and that sort of thing. And then the middle signature I might make a writing journal with papers. So that's what I'm thinking. So this piece I am wanting to put on the inside cover here. So I've just cut it down, folded it over, and just corner rounded these corners. I'll probably stick that down, so I'm thinking we will have a pocket in here and a pocket tuck spot there as well. So that is the plan with that. Now I have decided I might ink. Wasn't going to in this one, but then I remembered I have black soot and engines seem to go together, I reckon. So I'll do a bit of inking. Now, I also did a whole heap of die cutting the other day with my file folders of some bits and pieces that I might like to use in this journal. So I did some of your, now what does Tim Holtz call these things? Oh, I'll just grab out all the ones that I used and show you. I haven't done those ones or those ones yet. Here's something slots, stitched slots, that's the one. So that's a new die that I've got recently. Wanted it for a while and I thought I will get it. So I'm going to use that. I've done some of this typewriter, which is Kaiser Craft typewriter. I've done some film strips, which are Kaiser Craft again. Haven't used those yet. I have done some of these mini cogs, Kaiser Craft again, and I've done some of the Couture Creations. These are distress tags. So I just cut a whole heap the other day so that they're ready to go if I want to use them. So I don't use my dies much, and I'm determined this year to use them a little bit more. So I thought I'd cut some out to begin with, and what I don't use in this project I can use for other ones. Now I have a big complete atlas of Australia, this huge thing. I have a few of these, and they're nice matte pages. So I thought I might incorporate some of that as well as background paper. So I've cut a bit out that will fit on this little pocket here. And then I've got my stitch slots, and I want to put that down there probably. And that will be on my inside front cover. So what I might do is I want to round these 2 corners so that it fits nicely onto the background. So yes, finally in my craft room again. I don't get in here often these days. Madly trying to clean up for my inspection, and yeah, and it has been a rather busy week. So it looks like that'll fit nicely. I do want to have a bit of a border of my hanging file folder around too, because I still want to see that, you know, I'm using that. It does have the print and that on it, but I don't mind too much if a bit of that shows. So I might go around this with my black soot. better. And I might go around this, although I might also stitch it, so I don't know how much we'll see it, but it just takes the raw edges off a bit where I've cut them. So I have to get on with my challenges as well that I haven't done, so I thought I'd do some of this, and then I better get on with all of that. Now we will want to ink around this as well. Right, now I might stick this down. I think that'll look nice. My cutting's a bit off, but that's all right. Now, I don't think I'll put this on just yet, because I'm debating whether I want to sew around this or not. Okay, so I was going to sew around it, but I'll go over to my sewing machine, and because I moved desks and everything, I cannot find my bobbins and that at the moment, and I'm not going to tear the place upside down looking for them, so it's probably more sense anyway to do a few items that need sewing and then go and sew them all at once. That would be smart, wouldn't it? So what I might do is make some of the ephemera that I want to slip into this. So when I was cutting up my files, there were these data panels on them, and I thought, how cool, data panels. They sound really cool for this sort of journal. So I might use one of the data panels to make a, just deciding which side I want to put it in. I might cut them out and then use them as journaling cards. So I'm just cutting this down just near the lines that are already there so I can assess the size. Now, I don't think it's my cutter that's making it look crooked. I think the lines that have been printed on here are crooked, so that's all right. That's really cool. And I'll cut the other one out. Now this one, I'm going to cut the bit that's down the bottom that says recycled blah blah blah. I'm going to cut that off, I think, make it a bit smaller. Okay, so we've got those two pieces now. Let's put that up there carefully. Now this one's pretty big if we were to slip it. So it slips in there quite nicely. It'd be too big for there. I think that might actually work to have that one in that side. So we'll work on that one. Now we've got to decide. I'll keep that as the writing side so we can decorate this side. I reckon that looks cool like that. So now we can have a look and see whether we want, I do have pictures as well. Train pictures and that which I want to use, But let's have a look at what illustrations and that we have in here. Oh, see, something like that's almost a good size. That almost works. Which was this one? Alright, so I think what I will do is measure my card. Make sure we've got it, yep, the way we want it. We do want a little border, so we'd go 5 and 1, 2, 5 3/8. By 5 3/16. It's way too tall. Oh, it's not though. And so that fits quite nicely on there like that. Make sure we've got that up the right way. Now, do we want to corner round this? I don't think so because it's got the lines on it, so we might not corner around that. Therefore, I won't corner around this either, but I will ink around it before we stick it on. Might actually go in a bit with my ink. That'll do. And then we will go around this as well. Make sure we've got that up the way we want it and this up the way we want it, and we will stick that on. Again, I want to leave that little border. Which is hard when the glue dries as quick as this does. That's not too bad. Now, another thing I do have, which I think will add nicely to this sort of thing, is all of my business stamps, which I do not use them enough. I mean, they say weird things like email and all that, but why not? I think they will just add something really nice to these diagrams. So I'm actually going to do emailed on this one just because it was the first one I saw and thought of. There. Why not? And do I have a black one? All of these seem to be red. What does this have? Billed, received. Vaxxed, all that sort of stuff. Copy. We do have my number one. That takes a while to dry. I don't know if I'll even dry on this stuff, but we'll give it a go. Why not? Let's just put it down there. It's upside down, but who cares? I must remember which way is the right way for that. But that's all right. So that's pretty cool. So I might add a tab. It just depends, but I'm going to leave that to dry because that ink does take forever to dry. So then we do have a little pocket which is going to need some little embellishments to put in there as well. And I was thinking we could have a look at the adverts. See if any of them would be small enough. Got like a little magazine picture that would be. Is that the same? Yeah, it's the same one. Have a look at what we've got. So I might have a look at the ones in the back because I think there's more back here. It's quite a big one, that one. Here we go. We've got these little ones. And some of them may be. That's really cool. I'm just going to take this out. I'll take this one out. Really love these engines. Might be able to take these ones. Okay, so we've got those two little pieces and I think they'll be really cool little bits and they look like a perfect size to be able to slip into these pockets. Let's move that out of the way. So now what we want is some of our spare cardstock that we can back them onto. I don't mind those lines up there either, so we might put them on this side and then we can write on the back. I'll do that, and then we can cut around them afterwards. Now I will want to ink around these first. All right, let them dry and then I can cut them out. And we've got two little journaling cards or tags that we can use. Now we did have these tiny little advertisements which would be pretty neat on some of our offcut pieces. So let's see. Okay, I don't mind that one. Railway equipment. Might do this railway equipment one. see how they're going to fit. It fits pretty well perfect on there, doesn't it? And this one will have to go on there, and then we'll cut it down unless I can find. This bit looks thinner. It's a bit scrappy, but if we put it in the middle there, I think that'll work. Brilliant. Alright, so I'm just going to go and find my other scissors, which are a bit bigger and a bit easier to manage to cut the card anyway, and then I can come back and cut these down and they'll be ready to use. I'm back with my scissors. Yay! Took a bit to find them because I had actually put them away in my pen tray. And whenever I put anything away, I cannot find it, which I think is a common problem for us crafters. That'll do. It's not the straightest, but I will. The light's not very good actually in here. I create a bit of shadow because of my setup now, which isn't good. They're nice little bits though. Cut these ones out. I need to stick that down a bit better. These file folders are quite old as well. They came from an office down in the city that was giving them away one day, so I went and picked them all up. So that's given us all of these. They look like little business cards, don't they? So I will ink front and back of the edges of these just because I've started doing that. So now I feel like I've got to continue on with it. Now I could stick something like other paper on the back to make it easier to write on, but this can be written on, and I like the sort of grunginess and the colour of that. Also, I don't want to make them too thick and bulky because they're going into those little pockets, or might go into those little pockets. I'm not sure if all these pieces will, but so I've got to sort of keep them thinnish. It's a nice way of making little pieces of ephemera with what you've got in the magazines, rather than having to rely on digitals or buying packs of ephemera and that, which I don't mind doing, obviously. I love buying new things and trying them out too, but you don't always have the money, and sometimes you feel like you're wasting so much out of the magazines and that. It's nice to see what you can do with the other bits and pieces that are in there. So they're going to be all right. Now I'm still debating whether I'm going to sew or not, so I think that is probably a long enough video for today. And what I will do is argue in my head for the night whether I will sew or not around this. Now let's see, is this still smudgy? Yes, it's still smudgy. I might actually spray some fixative onto that. It's the only problem with that old stamp. But yes, I'll decide what I'm going to do as far as they're going to fit in there nicely though. I'll probably put the longer ones up top, and then the little ones can fit down here with some tickets or something. That'll be really cool. So I hope that gave you some ideas. It's turning out pretty cool. I think I'm going to like it. It's great using all these, recycling all these bits and pieces for this one as well. So have fun, be good, and I will see you again soon, and you will see whether I decided to sew or not. See you later.